The T20 World Cup is drawing ever so close to the main draw, and today the team that we are going to focus upon is a side that has often punched its weight above when it comes to major ICC events. It's the Black Caps, New Zealand, who have not done well in bilaterals but are the kings when it comes to ICC events. Consistent, and this team, there is a lot to like about them, but this time they are playing in Australia, where they have had a horror story. In this edition, in this episode, we are going to talk about the strengths, weakness, opportunities and the threats of the New Zealand cricket team. Firstly, we have to know that they are in the other group, which involves Australia, England, Afghanistan, and in all certainty, it looks like the West Indies, if you have to look at it, or Sri Lanka. So that is New Zealand in a nutshell. This is the squad that they have: Kane Williamson, Tim Southee, Ish Sodhi, Mitchell Santner, Glenn Phillips, Jimmy Neesham, Daryl Mitchell, Adam Milnes there, Martin Guptill, Lockie Ferguson, yes, his name is Lachlan Ferguson, Devon Conway, Mark Chapman, Michael Bracewell, Trent Boult, Finn Allen. The core of the 2021 team is very much intact for New Zealand, but there is a possibility that Daryl Mitchell, who suffered an injury in the T20 Tri-Series, may not feature in that game.
Same is the case with Lockie Ferguson, by the way.
Yes.
Even both Daryl Mitchell and Lockie Ferguson, both of them are coming back into this tournament or in action following an injury, each to in fact both of them.
Yes. So this is the squad with the core of the 2021 team very much intact. Now, why did I say that they punch above their weight in ICC events? New Zealand, if you look at the T20 record history, in the 2007 World Cup, they managed to reach the semi-finals. Then you had a succession of Super 8s from 2009, 10, 12. In 12, in fact, they had 2 ties against West Indies and Sri Lanka, and they got knocked out. Super 10s in the 2014 World Cup, they choked against South Africa. Yes, irony died a million deaths there. So they couldn't chase 7 in the last over. 2016, they reached the semi-finals. Remember, they topped the group but lost to England in the semi-final in Delhi. 2021, yet again, they reached the final but got absolutely hammered by Australia there.
True.
If you have to look at the series that they have played, the last 5 series before the T20 World Cup for New Zealand, they may be bilateral giants, but there is a very big disclaimer in that. They played Ireland, Scotland and the Netherlands. 7 matches, they just swept them all. Okay, they did beat the West Indies, but the West Indies have been in real woeful form in 2020, ever since 2021. The Tri-Series, they were beaten by Pakistan in the final, and they were very inconsistent against Pakistan. Bangladesh were a different matter altogether. Now, if you have to look at it, who were the top bowlers for New Zealand in 2022? Looking at the conditions in Australia, where there could be bounce, where there could leg spin might come in hand. Ish Sodhi, 15 games, 20 wickets, economy rate of 8.4, 23.3 average. But the guy who's actually stolen the show has been Michael Bracewell.
The off-spinner.
Off-spinner, 13 wickets. 13 matches, 17 wickets, but look at that economy rate, 5.2, average of 9.8.
But Siddharth, you also will have to see that majority of those wickets would have come against Ireland, Scotland, Netherlands and West Indies.
And he did well even in the Tri-Series
yes,
also.
Who, by the way, West Indies, who are currently fighting for a place in the main draw, that is the Super 12. They'll have to go through the qualifiers, only then they'll be able to make it to the
next round.
The next round. So Bracewell, I understand what you are saying. Bracewell, the part-time off-spinner, got 17 wickets, but I think majority.
Mitchell Santner holds the key in the middle overs. 11 matches, 14 wickets. Again, economy rate of 6.6. He can play that holding up job pretty well.
And not just in the middle overs, by the way. You can also give him the new ball.
Yes. Remember, it was in the new ball in the power play that he made a name in that match against India, 4 wickets. Then Tim Southee, he did place 100 T20I recently in the Tri-Series, but he has struggled.
Especially in the death.
And again, Southee is an antithesis of Southee in the new overs. In the power play, he swings the ball, is accurate, but in the death overs, India exposed that very brutally. He was just carted around. And we have not included Trent Boult, because Boult has played only 6 games, but he's taken only 4 wickets. So he's not played that often, Trent Boult. He just played a couple of matches against the West Indies and then the Tri-Series. But heading into this without a central contract now, a lot of questions about Trent Boult. But yeah, Saudi, Boult, Ferguson, whether his injury permits him to play on a consistent basis, let's hope for New Zealand's sake that they do. But the batting is a very, very interesting prospect. There are some new players who have come in and have taken the game by storm. Glenn Phillips, Devon Conway, Finn Allen. But look at their strike rates, with the exception of Conway at the top. Maybe you would want 126 with Guptill start.
And also Conway is somebody who can actually play at a good strike rate. In fact, he is one player who can mold his game according to the situation or according to how the player or the batter at the other end is playing. So 126 strike rate, I would accept that.
But again, if Conway is striking at 126, then our skipper, Kane Williamson, average is 34, but that strike rate is a massive issue. We saw how it happened in the IPL that Kane Williamson was bogged down by strike rate, also injury.
That elbow.
Injury. Ever since that elbow injury, Kane Williamson has not been the same. The power, the fluency is gone, the timing is gone. He seems to be very uncertain. 121.4 is his strike rate, and that is a major weakness in the New Zealand team.
I think this actually is the bigger worry than any of the other players.
And also Mitchell's unavailability. Look at a strike rate, 153.2.
Exactly.
At the depth, you need power hitters. In Australia, he has that power hitting ability.
And by the way, Daryl Mitchell is one player, in fact, who looks like a different player altogether ever since, by the way, he was promoted up the order. He's batted at the top also, and he looks like a different player now.
Yes.
Although, it will be difficult for them to fit him right at the top in this batting lineup. But overall, if you see, as you said, New Zealand is one team that is known to punch above its weight.
So the strengths are the emergence of Allen and Phillips. The threat is Williamson's strike rate as well as the weakness, and Mitchell's unavailability. That robs them of power hitting. Also in the bowling, if you have to look at it, perhaps their weakness apparently might be in bowling, because their bowlers are not probably suited to the Australian conditions, and I'll tell you why. I'm wearing the color yellow, but that should not feel that I'm a Black Caps hater. New Zealand have not won a single white ball game in Australia since 2009.
That's amazing. That's a very, very, very surprising number. Since 2009, by the way. So it's been almost 13 years since they last won a white ball game in Australia.
They did win the 2011 Hobart Test, but that was a red ball game. But after that, they just haven't been able to win. But on the other hand, Indian fans will have a big sigh of relief that New Zealand is not in their group. Remember, 2007, India won the title, but they had one loss. Who was that one loss against New Zealand? Johannesburg by 10 runs. They lost at home, Nagpur opening game, also in a low scoring thriller. Not thriller, 79 all out India. And then 2021 New Zealand dumped.
You don't have to go that far back. In fact, they lost the 2021 T20 World Cup game, their second game, and that virtually ended their hopes of making it to the semi-final.
And India, when it comes to ICC events against New Zealand, represent an absolute horror story. They won in 87, but since then lost 92 World Cup, lost 99 World Cup. You lost the 2000 Champions Trophy. You won 2003 in Centurion, but you lost the 2007 World T20. You lost in the 2016 World T20.
The first game, I think, the one that
Nagpur, and now you lost the 2019 World Cup semi-final. Who can forget that?
2-day semi-final.
Yes, the 2-day one-dayer. That's what they say. And 2021. So India must be glad that they're not in the same group with New Zealand, because otherwise, barring these two, this stat might be telling. And recently, when they went to Australia, they were hammered 3-0.
Exactly. In fact, now that they're coming into this tournament, to this T20 World Cup, there was a 3-match series. In fact, 3-nation tournament played in New Zealand, where Pakistan actually won that series. They won against New Zealand in the final. So, but I think New Zealand, of course, has always been a low-profile team. a team that majority, I think it's the second favorite team
Yes.
for everybody. You know, a lot of Indians would want India to win, but just in case India doesn't win, I think the second favorite team usually is the New Zealand team, and that goes for every country.
Yeah, threat and weakness, the stat. Not a single game won, white ball game in Australia since 2009. And that will play on their mind. And they didn't start the warm-up well also. 98 all out at Allan Border Field against South Africa. So, big problems for New Zealand heading into this T20 clash down under.
Okay, so how many World Cups have been played in Australia, by the way?
1992.
87.
87 was in India.
87 was in India. They did beat India. Oh, sorry, they lost to India. Okay.
Yes.
Now, 92, they played in Australia.
Yep. But New Zealand defeated Australia, but that was in Auckland.
That was in Auckland. And same is the case for the 2015 World Cup also. They played all their games in New Zealand.
One game that they had in Melbourne,
the final, they lost there.
Yep.
But this team, I honestly feel, you know, if you go to the squad, okay, I understand what Siddharth is saying. Maybe their bowling is not suited or hasn't done too well in conditions that you encounter in Australia. I understand. But looking at this squad, especially in T20s, what do you need? You need firepower at the top?
Yes.
Okay. I'm giving you, say, Glenn Phillips.
Yep.
I'm giving you
Finn Allen.
And by the way, there's no Martin Guptill, of course, is no longer there.
He's there, but then I'm not guaranteeing him.
No, I agree. Okay,
Yeah.
Martin Guptill is there.
Yeah.
Martin Guptill, we know what he's capable of doing, although I doubt that if he'll make it to the 11.
Yeah.
Martin Guptill, Phil Allen, then you have Glenn Phillips,
Yep.
and you have Devon Conway. So 4 people to pick from. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you've got the explosive firepower at the top.
Yes.
You have a Kane Williamson. I think that's the bigger worry.
Yep.
Kane Williamson. You have now when you talk about bowlers, they have 2 out and out fast bowlers in
Lockie
Ferguson and Adam Milne. So if just in case Lockie Ferguson is not the preferred choice because he is also coming after an injury layoff, so then Adam Milne, he is he is very fast, and you have the experience of Trent Boult and Tim Southee, and you have a very tall leg spinner,
Ish Sodhi
in grounds that are comparatively bigger than what you see in New Zealand. And when you toss a ball, he can actually be quicker through the air.
Yes.
And when if he tosses the ball up, what usually happens is it comes much above the eye line of the batsman.
Yep.
So that actually can at times create a sense of doubt in the minds of the batters. So Ish Sodhi. Then you have Mitchell Santner, who has lost out his place in Test cricket in recent years, but is still a very effective left arm spinner. Although he's not a wicket taking option, but he is somebody who can control and contain the run rate.
Yep.
So you have experience in the bowling lineup. You have a good top order. Now what about the middle order? Middle order, Jimmy Neesham, hot and cold.
Yes.
Hot and cold if he gets to play.
Yep.
Okay. Daryl Mitchell. Injury, his injury has to be seen whether he is fully fit, whether he is making it into the 11. So that's a choice.
In doubt for the opener on October 22nd against Australia.
So if you see the best possible 11, I think Finn Allen should open with Devon Conway.
Yes.
Then number 3 would be Kane Williamson.
Yep.
Number 4 would be your could be Glenn Phillips, by the way.
Glenn Phillips
could be number 5 could be Bracewell.
6
correct me if I'm wrong, if you have any other options. So then at 6 could be your Daryl Mitchell or Jimmy.
I think it will be Jimmy Neesham because Mitchell is not available.
If Mitchell is not available, of course Jimmy Neesham would be there, and then at number 7 you could have Mitchell Santner. Then 8, 9, 10, 11.
Ish Sodhi,
Trent Boult, Southee, and either Adam Milne or Lockie Ferguson, depending on the availability of Ferguson. So that
is also our playing 11, which I feel if Mitchell was available, then Neesham is out.
Exactly.
That is the only change. If Ferguson recovers, then he replaces Adam Milne.
Yes.
But remember, you're replacing an injury-prone bowler with another injury-prone bowler.
Yes.
That is the problem New Zealand have. And looking at it, I did not put them as one of my favorites in the T20 World Cup because their poor record in Australia, a very bad build-up, because they are losing form at the wrong time. Plus, their recent tour to Australia also did not inspire any confidence in the batting.
I agree. Going by their record, especially the recent record, it doesn't inspire too much of confidence.
Yes.
But going by what they usually do in ICC tournaments, this for me is my top 40.
Yes,
I'm going with them.
Because they'll have to either beat one of Australia and England
Yes.
to seal that spot.
Yes.
And they want Afghanistan also.
There will be an upset. There could be an upset, although it is very difficult for New Zealand to make it to that to the semi-finals.
Yes.
With Australia and England already there, and there's a possibility. See, there's a possibility that
West Indies,
one of the qualifiers, one of the top dog from the qualifiers would also join this pool. So, but on paper, this team looks good to me on paper. But for that to make it to the to the semi-finals, they'll have to overcome the defending champions Australia and
the current sensations.
Perhaps the favorites, England.
Yes.
So
tall task for New Zealand, and remember, tomorrow they are playing another warm-up game, and that is against India at the Gabba. India are already high on confidence, and the only thing we'll be looking forward to seeing is whether Mohammad Shami bowls 4 overs. And remember, it's a night game at the Gabba.
Right.
It's not a day-night game like how it was in Australia. So plenty to think about for New Zealand, and 4 days later, the opener starts with Australia and New Zealand at the Sydney Cricket Ground.
Yes.
So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this SWOT. We'll be back with more analysis and updates from sports today. Press the like, comment and share button. We are also there on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram also. Bye-bye. Thank you. Vanakkam.